Of course, people cannot contribute to the nation if they are never taught to read or write. If their bodies are stunted from hunger, if their sickness goes untended, if their life is spent in hopeless poverty, just drawing a welfare check. So we want to open the gates to opportunity. But we're also going to give all our people, black and white, the help that they need to walk through those gates and the opportunity to escape from the clutches of poverty.
Lincoln Hills was formed as a result of the passage of the Economic Opportunity Act of 1964, which was part of President Lyndon Johnson's War on Poverty. As a result of that legislation, in January of 1965, Lincoln Hills was formed as a corporation to apply for some of those funds.
Shortly after we got organized, we were able to get a federal grant that helped us really get started in helping the people of Perry County and neighboring counties.
I think it isn't unique at that time, because you're back in the 60s, and you didn't have the many different activities that are existent today to help you maybe become more independent instead of dependent.
Well, I think the community responded positively about it. The people who served on the board were very dedicated, and I think that even now, 50 years later, I think people are still very happy about Lincoln Hills Development Corporation.
I started out in this building. When I first started with Lincoln Hills, there's a second floor, a small second floor to this building. It was the Southern Indiana Rural Electric Company. And then we relocated to the town of Troy and worked out of the old school building down there. My office actually was stationed in the old broom closet. I think we had about 4 people working out of that area.
Lincoln Hills did then relocate from St. Pius over to the public school. And that's when they also began to offer some classes from Vincennes University and other things. So it was, again, expanding their role, their effect on the community.
In 1977-78, the building that we're currently in became available in Tell City. The board discussed whether they wanted to borrow money and to acquire a building. They decided to do that, and they took a chance, but they invested in the future and decided that this was an opportunity to locate a permanent facility in downtown Tell City. We employ around maybe 140 or so employees at this time. I think we have a family-friendly agency. We try to treat our employees well. We try to work with them on professional growth and career development. Almost half of our employees have been with us for 10 years or longer. We have a couple of employees that have been with us for over 40 years. In the early years, a real major focus of the organization was creating employment opportunities.
When I first started, Lincoln Hills was operating the Neighborhood Youth Corps program and also the Manpower Development and Training Act program. Things were so much different. I mean, the unemployment rate at that time was like 16, 17%. They were very much needed. You know, they had the work experience programs for the youth, and we had a lot of adults, you know, out there working at the various nonprofit organizations.
The Head Start program was one of the first grants that Lincoln Hills received. Lincoln Hills has continuously operated the Head Start program since 1965. In the 70s, we began expanding the program, and we operate 7 different centers throughout the area for the Head Start children.
Head Start is the beginning of our future. You know, the children that are going through Head Start are learning things that, you know, will carry them on.
Well, my first experience with Lincoln Hills Head Start was the summer of 1970. That was when the 8-week summer program was in progress. And I drove and picked up kids and took them to the local elementary school. When I started teaching, there were 4 teachers, 15 kids per teacher, and now their enrollment is 291 children.
My name is Angela Talley. I am a pediatrician and I currently am employed by Harrison County Hospital. We just recently opened up a practice in Georgetown, Indiana, but I've been a pediatrician for almost 8 years now.
She was in my first class. She is my success story.
I'm really blessed to have had Becky as an inspiration in my life at that time. For Miss Becky to tell me, yes, you can do it. I remember learning how to write my ABCs. I think that those were the first places that I ever met anyone outside of my own home that I ever had experiences with outside of my own family. Learning your basic food groups and learning, what's healthy to eat, what's not healthy to eat. Hygiene, basic hygiene. I remember standing in line and learning how to brush my own teeth. I'm referring to this program now. 75% of my practice is Medicaid patients, and that 75% would not have preschool and would not have that education for not just for the students, but for those parents.
When I was in high school, I had thought I wanted to be a missionary. And then when I was hired in Head Start, it just clicked. That was my mission field. And I would just like to say thank you to Lincoln Hills.
As part of the federal stimulus program under the Obama administration, we applied for and received funds to implement an early Head Start program.
We are a school readiness program. So everything we do relates back to that, preparing them for school and preparing them for life. We actually serve prenatal moms, so you can be pregnant and come into the early Head Start program up to children 3 years of age. We have our families that are in our early Head Start program come to the center twice a month. It really is a joy to watch them learn and grow and hopefully prepare them for preschool.
We also got a start in housing back in the late 70s and early 80s, and that became a major emphasis for our local community action agency. Multifamily housing, safe and sanitary and affordable housing, targeted primarily toward the elderly. The project in Crawford County, which was completed in 1982, was the first multifamily apartment complex to be built in Crawford County. We've been successful in doing that in many counties, Perry County, Crawford County, Harrison County, DuBois County. Between the Housing Choice Voucher and the apartments that we manage, we're probably touching 1,000 households a year.
As I go on my way to my work, I pass one of our housing developments, and occasionally I'll stop the car and simply talk to people. I just ask them, what's it like to live here? Are the services good? The agency that runs the place, are they responsive? Time in and time out, I get a good response, and that's reassuring. One can always ask staff and get a good response, but when you ask the people you serve and they have no idea who you are and the response is positive, well, that makes a person feel good about what they're doing. One of the nice things about Lincoln Hills is we are in a position to take on larger projects in terms of housing. I think the cotton mill has been one of our major triumphs.
I used to tell people at the time it was going to be the highlight of my career or the end of my career.
We all knew about this structure, and we knew it had been sitting there basically without any use for many years, and it looked bad from the outside.
If somebody wouldn't have stepped in, whether it be us or someone else, I believe it would not be there, either now or in very close future. It would be gone.
It is a National Historic Landmark. It was built in 1849. When we got involved, it had been vacant for 25, 30 years. There had been several attempts to do something with the building, but none had been successful. We determined that the only real feasible way of preserving the building was to convert it to a housing project where there would be revenue generated through the rental of the apartments that would provide funds to keep the building up once it was restored.
You've got to be willing to be responsible to the project and to maintain it. And being here 50 years now, it's clear this is the sort of thing we can do long-term and intend to do long-term.
We were successful in putting together a little over $8 million of grants and loans to restore and preserve that project and convert it to 70 units of affordable housing. And hopefully that building will be around a long, long time. We could not have succeeded in that project without the tremendous community support that we had, not only from the city of Cannleton, but from Perry County, from the state, and from the national offices.
It's very touching, and to see it come back to life, because it was empty for so many years.
I really believe that the Energy Assistance Program and the Weatherization Program has probably saved many a life throughout the years. The Energy Assistance Program, we serve about 1,600 families throughout the winter. We administer the program in Perry, Spencer, and Crawford County. We're able to provide an average of about $450 for each family to help them offset the high energy costs during the wintertime. The Weatherization Program is one of my favorite programs. We do a real thorough energy audit to determine exactly what needs to be done to the home. We check the furnaces. We're able to repair or replace those furnaces. Gas cooking stoves, we want to make sure that it's not producing any poisonous gases. 399 homes is what we weatherized in about a 2.5-year period.
We are very reluctant, I guess, to solicit donations locally. We've always tried to earn our fees through rental properties and seek grants, federal or state grants where we can. But the federal budget process has been very, very difficult the last few years because of the uncertainty of it.
We get hurt when the Congress decides to wait to approve federal budgets, because every month they put this off, we are running programs that they are not funding. When you are the one agency providing all the services, you want to be careful to take care of the agency, right? To make sure it's healthy, to make sure it's secure financially, to make sure the relationships are good. And so really, I think as president of the board, I'm always concerned about that.
We have representatives on our board of directors from the public sector. We have representatives from the private sector, and those are various groups ranging from the Chamber of Commerce to a ministerial association. And then a third of our board is composed from representatives of the low-income sector who have elections to elect representatives to serve on the board. And that type of board makeup is unique to community action agencies.
I think for the most part it is people helping people, improving the quality of life for families and individuals, and I think we've done a really good job in that, and I think we'll continue to do it.
It's going to be exciting to be here for the 50th anniversary of Lincoln Hills. Whenever you see the 50 years that we have put into the community and you see the results of what we've done, and it shows you that we're here for the people.
To you, Lincoln Hills Development Corporation, for your long-term presence and investment within the Tell City community and the dedication in serving as a community partner as we work together, helping people, changing lives. I, Barbara Ewing, the duly elected mayor for the city of Tell City, have executed this proclamation the 7th day of January, 2015. Larry, and to all of you, congratulations.
When you look back and see what's been accomplished in this 50 years, it's amazing. You got people who give their time, their energies. You couldn't have that efficiency with a for-profit entity.
We have very passionate employees. I think that would be the key is passion. For a nonprofit, you have to be passionate about the services you're offering.
We are a team, we're a family at Lincoln Hills.
It's fulfilling. I love what I do. I love helping the employees. And when I'm helping them, then they're doing their jobs helping the community.
Every community would love to have a Lincoln Hills Development Corporation within their entity. I believe that.
I've been truly blessed to work here, and the things that I've been involved in and the people I've met. Hopefully we've done a little bit of good along the way.
That's very satisfying to know that you had something to do with starting an organization that has really contributed greatly to the community over the years.
It's just been a wonderful place to work. I tell you what, I've just been really proud and honored, to have had the opportunity to work for Lincoln Hills. And I hope to stick around for a few more years.
We really want to celebrate our history and where we've been, but we haven't worked this hard for this long to see it all bite the dust when we walk out the door.
I am so happy with what they have done and what they are doing, and expect that they will continue to serve the community in a great way.